Welcome to another edition of the Tiger Basketball Report. I'm your host, Spiro Marikas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Pat Scarry. And Pat, the Tigers with a good couple of games against Coppin on Saturday and then Tuesday night against UNCG. Let's start with the Coppin game, a team that likes to play a helter-skelter style, something you really hadn't seen too much of going into that game. And I think you guys handled it pretty well.
We did. Any victory on the road is a good victory, Spiro. As you know, Juan Dixon's teams are hard to prepare for because of the pace and the spacing and the amount of 3-point shooting. So, threes were raining on both sides. Fortunately for us, we've got a lot more ability to make 3-pointers as we're starting to see. And shot showed, obviously starting with Jason Gibson, and some other guys followed suit. But I think our ball movement was outstanding.
Well, and Coppin lives and dies by the three. Well, they died because you made a lot of threes. As a matter of fact, set a school record with 16 of them, and Jason Gibson tying Gary Neal for the most in a game with 8. So the best 3-point shooting night in school history.
Yeah, that always helps. Obviously, Jason's an elite 3-point shooter, and that's pretty good company that you mentioned with Gary Neal. That's for sure.
Sure was. And then he was named the CAA Player of the Week because of the way he played in the 3 games you played last.
Yep, deservedly so. I think, it's great to have him back and have him healthy. And, he's a tough kid. And he's been through a lot of injuries but he's worked at it. His body's better. And he's key for us in trying to get where we hope to get to.
All right, then Tuesday night you take on UNCG, a very, very tough ball club. As you mentioned, they've won 20 games, 5 straight years. They came into the game at 7-3. Tough defensive team, one of the best rebounding teams in the country. And you beat them at their game because you out-rebounded them by a couple. You took command midway through the first half and really never looked back. You had to be very pleased with the performance of your team, although Greensboro did shoot the ball very well.
Yeah, they're hard to stop. They're well coached. Mike Jones does a good job. That's a win that we're really going to appreciate as this season unfolds. It was a total team effort. Thought our guys fought through some fatigue and being nicked up and maybe not feeling their best. But we did rebound it. I thought our ball pressure was good, but our ball movement was outstanding. And, we shot the ball really well. Obviously, Terry Nolan played at a really, really high level.
And throughout the game, it was different guys. In the beginning, it was Terry and Antonio Rizzuto that kind of got the lead. And then a little later on, Charles Thompson carried you for a while, and then Jason Gibson hitting some more threes, and then Terry at the end. Your leading scorer, Cam Holden, really was not involved from a scoring aspect in the game, but rebounding and assists, he was right there.
Yeah, he was fighting through some fatigue, and 10 rebounds against that team is terrific. Charlie had a good night. We need Charles. That's what he's capable of. And I can't say enough about Timberlake. He's just been incredibly consistent on both ends of the floor. I'm really proud of his play. And yeah, you're right. Antonio's up to 41% from threes, so he's starting to knock stuff down like the way we know he's capable of. And his toughness and his tenacity are just constants for us. And the other guy too is Juwan Gray's playing at a high level. He's getting more minutes and he's been productive, finishing. He defends. He's making open shots. He's such an intelligent player. And then, we got to find more minutes for Chase. I've got to do a better job with that. He was productive when he was on the floor the other night. Very productive.
All right. So the 2 consecutive wins against Coppin and UNCG. Now 8 days off, exams. So the players not only have to worry about basketball, but finishing up their studies for the semester. And then a game next Wednesday against Navy, a team that, very high in the computer rankings. They've got a big win over Virginia. They're going to be disciplined. They're going to be tough, and they're not going to 40 minutes.
Yeah, we'll start getting some Navy prep this weekend. They'll be right there to win the Patriot League. Eddie the Cellist has been successful there and some other places, whether it's East Tennessee State or Penn State for a lot of years. So that'll be a handful of a challenge for us. It's a great opportunity, to play a highly ranked team, the last game of the non-conference schedule. And, we try to catch our breath for a couple of days here and get up to speed academically and get a little bit healthy. And then there's some things we have to get better at that we'll really try to focus in on.
How do you deal with it? This is really the longest break you'll have during the course of the season. How do you use that time?
Yeah, first couple of days just all academics, and then we'll get back in with the lifting and skill work, and then really dig into some things on both sides of the ball that we feel like we can get better at, and then some things that we think that will trends, whether they're different concepts that we'll need to work on in our shell defense, and then some things like that we'd like to add offensively, or some tweaks to some stuff we've been running that we think that are good for us. It's going to give us a little bit of chance to work at those things. It's important that we're going to have 5 days to get back on the court, that we get better during those days.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate the time, and talk to you next week after the Navy game, and hopefully this winning streak continues.
That's right, Spiro, and hopefully you're not studying for any finals right now, because I'm sure you spent a lot of time doing that.
Oh, those days are long gone. Thankfully. All right, Coach, thank you. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Tiger Basketball Report.